welcome back. Why would you consider changing the cable of your winch from a steel cable to more of a fabric cable? There are a number of reasons. I have the nylon or the artificial cable on the front winch of my Ranger, and it has been excellent. It's limp, it doesn't have memory, it won't spring, and most importantly, it won't fray. And then as you're pulling the cable out, it won't cut your hands, it won't poke your hands, and its rewind is very smooth, very easy, and I think in many ways it's a significant advantage over the steel cable. Let's change one out. So here we have a Badlands ZXR 2500 winch with a steel cable, and here I have the fabric cable or the artificial cable. This is rated at 3,500 pounds and the winch is 2,500 pounds, so we have more than enough capacity. The synthetic cable comes with a completely different fair lead. Here's the standard roller fair lead with a steel cable, and here is the fabric or the synthetic cable fair lead. Very smooth, aluminum. It won't nick, cut, or damage that synthetic cable. In addition, the clevis hook is different also. This is the one that comes with the Badlands winch. It's very nice, very heavy duty. Here is the one with the synthetic cable, a little bit smaller, but looks very capable. Let's get started on removing the steel cable. I want to secure this winch in a vise, and to do that I can put a couple bolts in the two connecting holes here and clamp it to the vise, which seems like a pretty good idea, and I think that'll allow the vise to securely hold on to the winch as we're pulling out this cable. So I'm putting in just a couple bolts with a lock nut, a lock washer, and a nut, and we'll tighten those down and secure this to the vise. Okay. That's good. So we'll put this on the vise, clamp down on those bolts, and that will secure this winch so that we can peel off the cable and get ready to replace it with our synthetic cable. Tighten these nuts up just a bit. Get ready to peel this off. Remember, you always have to be just a little bit careful with the cable because it can fray and cut your hands. So we'll pull the free spool release and we'll just start taking this cable out. Now, it always stops, and you saw the red part saying warning, we're getting close to the end. And let's clamp that. It's held in with a set screw. This set screw is a 3/32 inch set screw, and we're going to remove it, which will allow us to place our synthetic line. Now, the synthetic line is a much bigger diameter than the cable. So I have to drill this out so that this will fit. Here's the synthetic cable, and I measured the diameter to 5/16. So we'll chuck up a 5/16 inch bit and we'll drill out this hole, which will allow the synthetic cable to fit in. Now that the the hole's been drilled out, this will now fit in. But before I do this, I want to draw your attention to this synthetic cable cover. And you have to know that the volume of this synthetic cover is significantly greater than the steel. So I think this is going to be too bulky. And I can see the importance of the synthetic cover at the end to prevent chafing, cutting, etc. But at the very beginning, I don't think it's nearly as important. And I'm going to remove it because I want to be sure that the take-up reel has enough volume in it that it can take up the whole cable. With this protective sleeve, I'm afraid the volume is going to be too great and it's going to bind or kink. So I'm going to remove this. I've attached the cable to a vise gently, and now I'm just going to pull off that sleeve. Once I put it on a stretch, it should come off pretty easily. Now I'm sure that was a one-way trip because there'd be no way to get this sleeve back on, but that's okay. So let's put that sleeve, or let's put this back into the spool. So we're going to take the synthetic line and run it through that new hole that I've drilled. And bring it through so that the set screw sits in the middle of that. We'll put a little Loctite on this thread. We don't want this to come out if possible. Okay. Got Loctite on that. Be sure it doesn't cross thread. This is a very important, very small but a very important screw. There it is, nice and tight to prevent that from coming out. There we go. Not quite. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's well seated. Yeah, that's not coming out. Great. All right, well, let's continue winding this. It's 50 feet long, the same length as the steel cable. I'd like to have a nice smooth wind. So it's going on pretty nicely. But the thick protective end is yet to come. We have to be sure that'll clear that retaining plate. Okay, here comes that scuff guard. I need to extend that. And just hold the end here. So clearly we've got to be cautious when we extend this or retract this with the protective sheath. Okay, that probably was pretty good. There we go. So I think we have to be just a little cautious with that, but there's a replacement of the synthetic cable, and we will use this smooth fair lead. This is easy to attach, and I actually may use that larger clevis hook because it's actually really nice. So thank you for your attention.